Hello everybody. Today I want to talk to you about Sīrsāsana Headstand. And when thinking about whether or not it's time to start doing a headstand, I want you to consider a pyramid or a triangle of strength. Right? At the bottom of your triangle, the foundation is low plank. So when you can go to low plank and hold yourself in a straight line and not stick your butt up in the air or drop your hips out and lift your chest. Right? But when you've built enough strength to hold low plank regularly, then you're ready to move on to the next level of your pyramid with strength, which is crow. Right? If you need more information on low plank, watch the tutorial video with Meg. From low plank, you move on to crow. And you can see, look at my elbows, look at my arms, look at my chest and my back. It's basically the same thing as low plank, but you've taken your feet off the floor, so it requires more strength. Right? Again, if you need more information on the crow pose, watch the tutorial video with Wesley. Now, when you're moving on to your headstand, you need to be able to put the top of your head on the floor and not your forehead. Right? This is very important. You want the neck aligned properly. So there's two ways you can find the top of your head properly. Excuse me. Take your thumbs and slide them up your head until you find the small depression in the top of your head. Everyone has one. It's very slight, but you want to find that spot. That's the spot you want to put on the floor. If you can't find it that way, another way is to just put your palm on your forehead with the heel of your hand on your eyebrow center, and then lay your middle finger to the top of your head. And right where your middle finger ends, that's the good spot. Okay, so tripod is the easier of the two because it's got a bigger base. The bigger the base, the easier it is to stand on top of it. Even though it feels like there's more space in it and it can feel a little more loosey-goosey, it's still the easier of the two headstands. So you want to think of your hands as the bottom corner of a triangle, and then you want your head to wind up as the pinnacle of that triangle. So you can't just put your head on the floor like this, so your head winds up between your hands, and I see this mistake all the time. So you want to move forward, just again, like you're doing low plank, and then put that spot on the top of your head on the floor, not your forehead. Okay? Then curl your toes under and push your hips up. And start to walk your feet forward. And with every step forward, you're pushing your hips up, 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 until your toes lift off the floor. Right? Now, it's really good practice to work on holding your toes just above the floor. Another nice part about tripod headstand is say you get to about here, and you can't really lift your toes off the floor yet. So you put your knees on your elbows, and lift your feet that way, which is a nice in-between step. This is a great beginner headstand. Okay? And then from here, you could work on doing one leg up, and then bring it back down and take the other leg up, and when you feel confident enough, you take both legs up. Okay? And never drop. Always with control. Lower your feet back to the ground. And go to child's pose after. The second headstand is what's called classical headstand, and that has a much smaller base, and so it's harder to balance on, not as big of a foundation. For classical headstand, instead of staying on your hands, you drop your elbows down, and then interlace your hands together, pinky fingers on the floor, and that makes your triangle. Then you want to put that top of your head on the floor and cradle the back of your head in the palms of your hands. And then the steps are the same from there. Curl your toes, lift your hips, walk your feet forward until you can lift your knees into your chest. If you can balance here, then you can take your legs all the way up, push your elbows in and lift your shoulders away from your ears. Right? Why stop here? Because if you go all the way up and you roll out, you fall like a tree. But if you've got your knees into your chest and you can't hold this in balance, you're going to drop back to your knees. Or you're in a somersault, you're just going to roll out onto your back. Right? And so, no one ever, I've never in 15 years seen somebody get hurt falling out of a headstand unless they fall on something. So, always make sure there's nothing in front of you. No water bottles, no blocks, right? You want a clear path to roll out. So, here's my advice. Don't be scared. Be brave. And what's being brave? Being scared and doing it anyway. All right? We'll see you next time. Thank you.